I guess we'll start. Hello everyone, my name is Vedant and as the General Secretary of the Electrical Engineering Department and on behalf of the election officers, I welcome you to the Soapbox for the Department General Secretary 2021-22 position. To maintain the decorum of this meeting, there are certain ground rules that are laid out. At all times, participants must keep their cameras turned off, apart from the candidate himself. This is to preserve bandwidth for especially those with poor connectivity. All the participants are requested to be polite and respectful while addressing each other. And whenever it's not required, please keep yourselves muted. The soapbox structure will be as follows. The first 5 minutes of the soapbox would involve the opening statement by the candidate. The next 20 minutes would be reserved for the candidate explaining the motivation behind the manifesto points. And the next sections would be reserved for the questions from and collected by the election officers. The answers can be open for one repeated question. And in case you have any question for the candidate on the basis of his answer, you can put your question on the chat and it can be taken up by the election officer asking the question. But please do not unmute yourself. In the last section of the soapbox, the last maximum 20 minutes are reserved for questions from the audience with no rebuttal questions allowed. And in this section, if you want to ask any question, you are requested to raise your hands, and one of the election officers would uh, unmute you, and then you can ask the question. So the candidate for the position of Department General Secretary 2021-22 is Ayush Ambadas Dahale, a third year undergraduate. I request Ayush to unmute himself and give his opening statement and explain his manifesto.
Okay. Then can you confirm is my voice clear?
Yes, Ayush, you're clear.
Okay, sure. So hello everyone. I am Ayush Ambadas Dahale, 18D070041, and I am a third year undergraduate student in the Department of Electrical Engineering. I am currently pursuing my dual degree BTech plus MTech in microelectronics, and I have applied for the position of Department General Secretary 2021-22. So, in my past year in my past experience as Institute Secretary of Academic Affairs and also as a DAM mentor, I have interacted with many students. Also, when I was a class representative in my sophomore year, uh, I came across many students, and I got a good idea of all the problems that students across many years face, like during this all this when I hold all these positions. And because of that, I think I have got a good idea of what all policy changes are needed and what all rules and regulations can be changed or updated for a better department and for a better overall experience of a student in our department. And like in my tenure as a institute secretary of academic affairs, I also came to know how exactly can they be implemented. I have been doing my groundwork for past few days with all the students from all the years, and I also done my groundworks with relevant position holders and ex-position holders. So because of that, I have got a good idea of how department works and basically how can things be implemented in our department. So because of that, I have got a good point of view of things that can be changed and that can be improved in our department, and things where we can like things that can be improved to basically give a better overall experience. So because of all this, I envision to improve and make overall environment of the department more conducive to students' overall growth. And I plan to do this by like upgrading existing framework uh, and introducing new policies and initiatives to aid students in achieving their goals and for a better, for overall better experience in the journey. And basically, I want to create a better and more inclusive environment and promote more discussions on academic as well as non-academic issues. So let me jump to my manifesto now. So first, let me highlight some key initiatives. So the first key initiative that I thought of is having a sophomore mini orientation. The inspiration for having this initiative, sophomore mini orientation, was that especially because this time freshman students were not able to come to the institute, and they are not aware of many things, many resources, and many policies that are there in place in the institute. And especially the policy and the information dissemination has not been at its best. So I plan to have a sophomore mini orientation for all the sophomores coming in the institute, and hopefully we can have it in the offline sim. And what I plan to do in this sophomore mini orientation is basically guide all the sophomore students with the help of DAM coordinators and or like basically other council members about the facilities, resources that are available specifically in our department. For example, like we have PC lab, well lab, and other labs. Apart from this, I also plan to guide them about department specific policies, rules, and regulations. For example, like there are many rules that are not documented properly. So many students face dilemma in such cases. So I plan to like make sophomores aware about all such rules. So okay, so that was about sophomore mini orientation. The next thing that I plan to do is project archive. So basically, this also I got this idea from by doing when I was doing groundwork with some sophomores and freshman students. So one of the dilemma that freshmen and sophomore students and at times third year student face is they do not know who to approach if they wish to pursue some particular project. Because sometimes websites, especially e-website, is not updated, and basically, and most of students do not feel directly approaching a professor to get an idea of a particular detail or project. So they feel more comfortable in approaching senior students. So what I plan to do is basically create a database of all the BTech, dual degree, and PhD projects that have been completed in the past and are successfully and the students are currently working on. So basically, this database will contain all the projects and those people who have done these projects, and this will and the access will be given to all the EE students. So basically, any freshman, sophomore, or third year student can access this data and basically get in touch with the person who has already worked in a particular field to get a more clear idea. And like basically, this will help the students to uh, like bridge the initial barrier that comes when someone tries to start the new project or start his or her research journey in the institute, basically. And one more thing, in the project archive, like this is basically the MVP. We can also think of having like detailed research, like what exactly they did in this database. But this is also subject, the having details is subject to each and every person, like if he's comfortable in providing such information in public domains. So yeah, the basic idea is to just have the list of people and the topics they have worked in. Okay, so that was about project archive. The next thing is revamping the background hum team. So because this time was the first time when background hum team was actually formed. So one of the issues that team faced was there was no proper structure to the team. So I plan to have a proper structure for the team along with one chief editor and a team of co-editors. And I also plan to have a dedicated person for designing the newsletter. And also in the initial day, like, because the team was new, there were many mistakes that were made in the initial phase. For example, the workload management and all such things. So I also talk to the people from inside in how they can help in starting this new letter and basically how they can help in structuring the team. So I also plan to collaborate with Insight to basically structure the team. The next thing that I uh, that I plan to do is having grad school mentorship. So basically, currently placement mentorship program is being run by department council in our department. So for the people who are not aware of what placement mentorship program is, it is just like basically in this program, the students who have already been placed in a particular firms basically mentor the students who are preparing for their placements. So basically, pass out students mentor the students who are preparing for their placements. So I plan to expand this placement mentorship program by also including grad school mentorship. mentorship in it. So the idea is similar. So basically, as the place students used to mentor the students who are preparing for their placements, I plan to incorporate grad school too, grad school applicants too. So basically, students who have received their grad school application and who have been successfully admitted to grad schools can mentor the students who are preparing for their grad school application. So basically, this is about grad school mentorship. Uh, the next thing was to introduce early mock registrations. So the idea of this thing, so the problem that many students face, especially 30s and 40s, where they have to take like more than one electives, is that sometimes electives clash with their core courses. So they had to juggle between like core courses and electives, and they at times some students also missed on some courses because of slot clash. And basically the current procedure that was followed was basically for such cases you need to approach your CRs and like request him to request him to like make amendments in the slots so that it does not clash with your timetable. And the whole process was not very transparent, so I wanted to make this more transparent and more data driven, this approach. So what I plan to do is basically we will have a mock registration for everyone, almost a week before pre-registration starts. And mock registrations, through mock registrations we will get an idea of the slot clashes and like basic consensus of students of like what set of courses they wish to take. And after having this data and analyzing this data, we will be able to minimize slot clashes. And because of this, students will also be benefited and the whole process will become very transparent. So yeah, so that is one of the thing I wish to do. This has already been practiced in CSC department. So this is a good and robust process. So yeah, I wish to start this in electrical engineering department too. Okay, the next thing is department exit surveys. So department exit surveys are one of the things that are hugely popular in many US schools. So basically, the exit surveys are basically like the students who are passing out basically judge all the aspects of department and give some pointers relating where the department can improve and all. And this serves as a very good resource and gives an idea to department to where exactly we can improve and give some pointers for a betterment for better experience of students. So I also wish to start department exit surveys. The next thing is launching a comprehensive grad school application guide. So uh, basically many times students uh, like there is no formal resource where student can get idea of all like exact procedure that they can follow for a grad school application guide. Agree that many a times this process will vary from school to school, but sometimes they do not have the basic idea ki where to start from, or like how to decide colleges, or like how to write an SOP, or like some basic questions like this. So I plan to like have such a detailed guide for specifically electrical engineering students. So some things that we can include in this guide is like basically how to choose between MS or PhD for UG students, or how to shortlist the colleges, which colleges can be preferred, what can be an ideal CPI to get into a particular college, what all things should be there in your basically essays that you are applying with, and what all research background is expected for PhDs, or when you're applying for PhD or MS. So all such things can be included in a comprehensive guide. And I guess yeah, so basically that is the idea of grad school application guide. Cool. So yeah, that were some of the key initiatives. So I will come to academic and policy reforms. So the first so the first reform that I plan is like basically creating a trial lecture video repository. So because we had 2 semesters online, so we have good amount of resources, recent resources to be precise, and to get an idea of how exactly a course runs, what exactly is its content, and how a professor approaches a particular course, and if it is really matching with if student is comfortable in a if a in a particular setting or a particular grading scheme, or like like if student is comfortable in a particular way that professor teaches. So basically to solve all these issues, like what I plan to do is, like, with the approval of faculties who are interested in, like, who find this idea useful, we can have a Google Drive where we will have course wise sessions, so course wise lectures. So we can have lectures of first three lectures, so we can have videos of first three lectures of every course in department in a drive, and student can use that to make an informed decision about if they wish to take a particular course under a particular professor. So, and this is also one of the manifesto points in General Secretary Academic Affairs UG. So, and I talked to him regarding the same. So he said that might take help of he might need help of general secretaries on department level. So yeah, so I plan to contribute towards it in making this a department level repository. Okay. So, and the next thing is regarding ARPTAs. So, okay, so basically students who, for people who don't know what is ARP is Academic Rehabilitation Program. And basically students who have 36 or more core credits of backlog are member of Academic Rehabilitation Program. And so basically what ARPTA's proposal is, like, it has been there for department for few, like, a couple of years now, I guess. So, like, basically what proposal is, like we plan to have separate TAs for ARP students, because many a times ARP students lack very basic knowledge of a particular course, and if we club them with normal TAs, like, this becomes even tougher for them to pass a particular course or understand a thing. So by so yeah so I yeah so basically the proposal is to have a single TA for a bucket of courses. For example, two courses, you can have a same TA, and that TA will be specially reserved for ARP students. So yeah, this proposal, I guess, was rejected last time when it was proposed. So I plan to improve this proposal and basically try to pass this in our department. So that is ARPTA's proposal. The next thing is regarding undergraduate TAs for core undergraduate courses. So while doing groundworks and while speaking to sophomore students, like, because they have experienced their first year and second year courses, I came to know that, like, they were, like, in their first year courses, like PH 107, 108, and MA 106. So like they had UGTS. So I guess, so they had far more better experience than uh, far more better experience with UGTS than with PGTS. And one of the reasons being that because PGTS have not done the same courses, so sometimes there is a mismatch in initial understanding, like the starting point, because generally PGs have a lot of knowledge, but and UGs, like, don't really know, don't really have the same depth of knowledge. So so uh, generally it happens that PGTAs assume some background, and sometimes the background is not really covered for the undergraduates, and so there is basically a mismatch in expectations. So because of that, the overall experience is not very good. So what I wish to do through this proposal is have undergraduate TAs at least for core courses of the first year and second year students. And like how it will help is, because the firstly undergraduate students have done these courses, so they exactly know what can be the roadblocks, where what are the areas your students can face some issues, and basically they know what should be like what is the basic approach of these courses and what all courses they have done in past. So basically, because they have gone through same process, they have an idea, key basically they can give a better experience to student, I guess. So
Ayush,
because of
can you
that,
just add some speed? Uh,
okay. Okay, can you just give me an update on time?
yeah, we can extend this a bit because explaining manifesto is important. But yeah,
Okay, okay,
catch up.
okay, sure. Okay, sure. Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess I have explained the basic gist of the undergraduate TS thing. So the next thing is DNP sessions. So So DAVP stands for Department Academic Volunteer Program. So basically, this is similar to the TSC sessions that are held for undergraduate freshman students. Basically, the students where seniors usually before midsems and endsems take small sessions and doubt clearing sessions for freshman students for basically courses which are tough, and like for some courses which usually freshmen face issues in. So I also plan to do similar thing for with the DAM team for other years like second and third year students for their core courses, especially, and also explore the possibility of extending this thing to PGs, especially MTech students, because they have to do like 20 credits of core courses in their first sem first semester. Yeah. So like we can also think of having similar thing with the help of AURA's ISCPs and IRSCPs for the postgraduate students. Okay. So the next thing is a semester exchange 101 session. So basically this session will be tailor made, like there is no formal session for semex on department level, whereas a semester exchange is at times many department a dependent thing, and like there is just one institute level session where like most of the doubts remain unsolved for most of the students. Like I have seen many students and my in fact my mentees approaching many seniors for this thing. So I plan to have such a semester exchange 101 session where basic idea of semester exchange will be discussed. What are the benefits? What are pros and cons? What exact course maps can be followed? How to shortlist basically universities that you can go to for semester exchange. So all such issues will be covered in an session. So yeah, so that is about SEMEX 101 session. The next thing is about joint dual degree program. So basically, this idea is inspired from the current program that has been started in chemical engineering department. So recently, chemical engineering department signed an MOU with Washington University, and basically the idea of MOU is that the DDP students can do the first half of their dual degree project in Washington University, and the second half of their dual degree project in IIT Bombay. And basically the certificate or the degree that they will get is BTech plus a dual degree in the specific field, joint dual degree in specific field with Washington University and IIT Bombay. So I also talked to some senior students, fourth and fifth year dual degree students. So the general consensus was that many students will be interested in if such program was introduced in some collaboration of foreign university and IIT Bombay. So yeah, I think yeah. So I also plan to explore this thing in department. And the next thing is department industrial projects. So department industrial project. The idea is to have a course course similar to R&D project course. So what this but instead of having a research topic in that we have in R&D project course. Here the problem statement will be more industrial driven, and most probably they will be the current problems that industries are working on. And basically electrical department our department has also signed recently MOU with Texas Instruments where they had given similar projects to MTech. So we can explore the possibility of having such projects, a few projects around 5 to 10 projects. And basically so yeah, so because TI had given similar opportunity to MTechs, we can have some similar kind of projects and group them as a course, and students can apply for this course. So basically what this will do is this will give opportunity to students to have industrial project experience in semester, uh, which is rare because I guess students can only experience industry in their summers, so basically summers or winters. And also what this will do is because we have EEACR office also established, so we can approach more and more companies to be part of this program, and we can have more projects, and basically we can expand the capacity of this basically it can expand the capacity of this course which I used to have. And taking as a precedent, so This similar course was also started in online mode in the chemical engineering department this semester, where they had many industrial projects and student can take it as uh, department elective or basically tag it as ALC. So yeah, so that was about it. Department industrial project. The next thing is course Funday session. So uh, a similar session is organized for freshmen students, course Funday session, where seniors talk about how exactly to approach the courses like MA 105, PH 107, and exactly how they can improve and what approach they can follow in understanding these courses, because they are like basically freshmen are a bit new. In the similar sense, so sophomores are also new to department specific courses because they are like second year courses are especially with the new curriculum are quite heavy in some part. So such course funding session will definitely help sophomores to plan their semester properly, and like basically they can approach every course in a proper way. uh, ठीक है. So yeah, that was about academic and policy reforms. The next thing is about research activities. So first thing that I plan to have as a department open day. So this is the widely followed practice in many of the other departments of IIT Bombay, but for some reason our department did not have one from last 2 years. So yeah, so I plan to take this up department open day. So basically the idea of department open day is uh, the department, the labs and research facilities are open like kind of for a day, and TAs and RAs are present in their labs and all. So basically students can take a look at this lab, get to know exactly what research some students are there, like what TAs and RAs are doing exactly there, what all our facilities and resources are available in our department. So that is about department open day. So I plan to start it in our department too. Uh, the next thing is about research weekend. So basically, research weekend. This is predominantly targeted towards dual degree students because of new curriculum there are almost five there are, like basically there are six specializations in our department, and many students are not aware of what exactly do they stand for or what exactly is it in there. So we can have a research weekend kind of a thing, like a 3 day long event where there are some sessions conducted by postgraduate students for undergraduate dual degree students to exactly get to know key what exactly particular specialization consists of, and this will help them in taking an informed decision in what exactly specialization do they wish to take. And for this research you can also plan to collaborate with SRGs and seek some help from them. So I guess they can help us in arranging this session, because like many of the students are like because many of the PG students are involved in SRGs, and this will also foster UG-PG interaction, because I plan to like this session will be predominantly conducted by PG students only, because most of the MT students have great idea of all the specializations and what exactly do they consist of. So this was about research weekend. Next is inclusion of department research blogs as a part of ESA blogs, and so basically ESA website that is currently in place, that was newly made last year, like do not have any particular section for department research blogs. So I plan to introduce this, and what exactly this section will contain is basically this will like the blogs will have research experiences, and basically how like what exactly a researcher does, and some blogs on like similar lines, so research related blogs. So this was about department research blog. The next thing is organized department research exposition. Uh, so this will be a small to medium scale exposition, and this will have projects from not only electrical engineering students but all the projects that are there in that students are working from other departments in electrical engineering domain. So this will kind of a research. This will be kind of a research showcase thing where people can showcase their research through working models and poster presentations. So yeah, so I plan to have this too. The next thing is student reading group orientation. So because not many undergraduate students are involved in SRGs especially, so I also wish to conduct a student research group orientation for, as I mentioned, UG sophomores and PG freshmen to increase the involvement in increase the involvement in student research, student reading groups from UG side, and like just to introduce PG freshmen to this great thing, basically student research groups. So yeah, so that was about orientation. Um, So yeah, I will just brush through this. This is continuing the legacy points. So basically, things that I wish to continue in our department that were done by ex-councils. So first is having informal nights and informal events like department culture night, movie night, teachers day celebration, and Kurta day. Department trek, department trip. So I plan to organize this with the help of ISA Council. The next thing is Know Your Professor series that was recently started. I guess it was started just by the last council. So because it had a good response, and I wish to continue that too. The next thing is interdepartment sports. So in case because this same like both the semesters were online, we were not able to have any offline events. So in case we have an offline semester next year, I plan to have some interdepartment sports events like badminton, table tennis, and football competitions, which were held before the last year. And in case of online, we can have chess and esports events like done by the current council. Okay. And the next thing is conduct health awareness session. So this time also the mental health awareness session was conducted by DM team and department council in collaboration. So I wish to continue this tradition of having mental health awareness week, especially if the semester goes online. I guess these are very helpful. So we can attract like we will be collaborating with DM team and possibly seek some collaboration with Student Wellness Center too. So yeah, to make it a bigger event. And the next thing is uh, facilitating Jhatka GC basically. So Jhatka GC is basically part of the GC conducted by ITC. So basically, I also wish to contribute in basically the logistics of conducting a Jhatka GC, if it happens at all. So yeah, that is about continuing the legacy. The next thing is to improve the accountability of the whole council. Uh, I wish to have general body meetings for each semester. These general body meetings will be similar to that of the general body meetings that are held for Gymkhana position holders like GSA, GSHA, and the agendas will be the same. Basically students can question each like the working of the council and expect some answers from them, and they can also take updates on ongoing reforms and policies and their plan of action for the future. So the logistics part, who will conduct general body meetings? So I guess in like for Gymkhana, I guess if it is like GS, basically general secretaries they revolve among themselves. So suppose like if it is GBM from GSHA, GSSA will conduct a GBM, and all these things happen. But for this thing, I also talked to people from inside, so if they can help in conducting such GBMs, and I had a positive response from them. So I guess we can have GBM in if like with insights, or else we can also have it like it happens for general secretaries. We can have it with the help of other department general secretaries. So that is about GBM. And the next thing is also having half term and end term work reports. So this will also contribute towards improving accountability of the whole department. That is the whole department council. So that is the first thing. And second thing is this will also help as a showcase, and this will also work as a documentation for the work of the current councils, and will help future councils to build over that. So this is about the accountability part. Uh, the next thing is some miscellaneous initiatives. So first is where are they now? So because of the newly established e-alumni and corporate relations office, we have a good we will be having a good alumni network and reach in alumni, so we can easily conduct such a session like called Where Are They Now. Basically, people can talk, like alumni can talk about various alumni from various sectors can talk about their journey through the institute and after the institute, and how they got to the position where they are now. So similar kind of sessions were also held in some of the departments like MBMS and aerospace, and they were huge success. So many students were interested in such sessions. So we can also start a similar session in uh, E department. So that was about it. The next thing is about the list of specialization electives. So I guess this has been a problem for especially third year microelectronics batch, that the courses that were there on the department website are not updated, and also the list that and the list is not robust. Basically, some list has some issues, and basically that was rectified just last semester. And like basically there is no formal place or like basically a place where you can look up this list. Like there is just a PDF that is circulating amongst the students. So I wish to make this a more formal and like basically have a updated specialization electives list on department, especially when we will be having 5 or 6 specializations for the next batch. So this becomes more important. I guess they have for now the list are updated, but like yeah, I just plan to keep them updated. And because uh, from case to case basis there are additions or subtraction from department specialization electives list. So yeah, I just plan to keep them updated and students in loop with the changes. Okay. And the next thing is just yeah, so like basically this the next point is about sensitization of students regarding new course feedback mechanism. That is basically feedbacks are taken from for mid semester and end semester. uh, yeah, basically mid semester and end semester feedbacks are taken, so to ensure maximum participation from the students to the new and improved format of a course feedback mechanism. Yeah, so that will be one of the things to publicize and sensitize students about these things. So yeah, this was more of the initiatives. Lastly, I have listed my credentials. So I was Institute Secretary of Academic Affairs and Head of Empower for 2021. I'm and DM Mentor also for 2021. And I was also the class representative for dual degree microelectronics batch for 2019-20. So yeah, this is about my manifesto.
Okay, thanks, Ayush. Now we'll be moving on to the Q&A session. This section is reserved for questions by the election officers, but in case you have any counter question for the candidate on the basis of his answer, you can put it up on the chat, and then the election officer can take it up. But no participant is allowed to unmute himself or herself to ask the question. So Ayush, I'll be taking the first question. You mentioned that you would be planning on incorporating more UGTAs. How do you plan to increase the UGTAs? You must have already known, like many professors prefer to have students from their own research groups as
Mhm.
TAs, and we already have a sufficient number of PGTAs and the dual degree final year students who also have to work as TAs. So, given that we already have such a large number of TAs available to the department, and they are anyways getting paid for the job, how do you plan on insisting that the department has more number of TAs, and how do you sell that idea to faculty members who are already complaining that the number of TAs are too much to handle?
Okay. So the first thing is that I guess the first thing that I would pitch, or that I would like that I would try to convey to the that I would try to convey to the professors is that basically the issues that students are facing and about their experiences, that why they prefer UGTAs, and uh, basically why they prefer UGTAs and why do we need UGTAs. So as I mentioned earlier, because UGTAs have done these courses earlier, so they exactly have the idea of the student's mindset, so how it can be tackled and how the problems can be solved and what all problem students can come across. So this is one of the thing that can be that needs to be answered. So because of this all like, because of all these problems, undergraduate TAs would be preferred by students as well. uh, Second thing is uh, because so as you mentioned, like there are already TAs. So what we can try to do is there are already TAs for, like, as you mentioned, dual degree students as well as PG students. So what we can try to do is push for having just UG TA, like the dual degree TAs for the core courses, especially for second and first year students. So what this will do is basically DD students are the product of same BTech core courses pipeline that undergraduate students in the first or second year are going through. So they also have a good amount of, so they also have a good enough idea of basically how course can be taught, what are problems can be there, and basically because they can relate more to the problems of the students, I guess they will be able to solve them better. So first thing, if we like, if there is a, like if we are not at all ready to make any new TAs and because of some issues, so like that is the one of the thing that can be thought of. Apart from this, we can explore new avenues like department fundings. Like if a department is ready to fund some TAs for, because of the reason that I have listed below, and given the this is problem like prominent amount like prominent in the whole batch or something that a whole batch feels like around 150 students feel. So I guess department office will surely pay heed to such a request. And the next thing that we can do is many of the professors, like in one of the students that I know also worked under, like he's an undergraduate student and worked under a professor as a TA for a core course of the first year students, just to have just to have this experience of TAship, and because he was really interested. So if we have bottleneck of fundings and all, we can also explore this volunteer kind of a thing, because many I guess many undergraduate students do not take TAship because of its monetary benefits. They want a teaching assistant's experience, and they just want to have that as experience. So that is the main motivation for most of the students. So if we are not able to arrange for any funds, so we can explore this avenue too.
And how do you want to keep that as a process? Like, it depends on the professors as well, right? So, how do you want to keep that procedure of having voluntary basis creation?
Yeah. So because like for most of the undergraduate courses that I have seen, the like like there are good number of applications for any courses. For example, for the first year courses, a huge number of students apply for TAship. And uh, so basically, I guess it's better for professor to decide on the exact procedure that he wants to keep. So one of the criteria can be the grade for a course that he has taken in previous year. Another can be a specialized interview or a particular kind of a test that professor wish to take for that for recruiting someone as his or her TA. So I guess that can be discussed with the particular professor and can be dealt with on the case to case basis. And for the platform, I guess we can use UJTA portal that has been recently that was created last year. So I guess process can be streamlined through that.
Akshay, would you like to take the next question?
Sure.
Hello.
Yeah, hello Akshay.
Yeah. So in the key initiative section, you have mentioned about the project archives. You want to make a database for BTech, dual degree, and CSEC project topics.
Yeah.
Right. So what exactly do you plan to do with this?
Yeah, so like the basic idea is this was mainly for the students who are starting with their research projects. So be it PG or UG. So basically, what was complained especially for the UG students, because they are not as mature as PG students, so they do not always feel comfortable to reach out directly professor like what exactly a particular research field like incorporates, or what exactly does a researcher even does. So all these questions are sometimes remain unanswered, and like student never explore this. So if we have such an archive where we have database of topics and students who have done research in a particular topic, so the new students who are starting with their research can look up to this list or look up to this database and get in contact with such students who have already done a research topic, worked on research topic that they are interested in. So basically getting in loop with them will give them better insight on what exactly does a research mean, or what exactly doing research in a particular topic means, and what exactly are the commitments and what exactly is the experience. So basically this will help students to basically take a decision, like take a better decision whether they want to pursue this or not, or whether they find this helpful or not. Like basically doing a particular research project or something like that. And basically it will give them a starting point to start with research, to put it simply, because many a times students struggle with the starting point and they do not know where to start with or who to ask for, or like who exactly should we reach. Because many a times like suppose they reach DGSec, so like DGSec won't be able to answer all the questions related to all the research topics. So if we have such a database, that will basically streamline the process, and basically students can directly reach out to such seniors and get a better idea of all the aspects of research project that they are working in.
Okay.
So I have a question with it. Don't you think intellectual property rights would come into the picture here? Like, would the professors be willing to have such an open repository available to all the students?
Yeah, sure. So for that, like basically initial idea, that a similar idea was proposed in CSE department last year, I guess. So what that idea was is like they also plan to have their actual thesis and detailed work reports, or like basically work in that database. So I do not wish to have that detailed work about this. So I don't think there will be IP issues if we don't have exact work. So the having exact work is again, if someone wishes to have their exact work, this will be up to them. If they wish to keep their work in this database, so sure, if it is published and like they are confident enough to keep it in the database, it's totally up to them. But it will not be something that we will ask them to do. So basically we'll just list down the topics and like basically the areas they are currently working on. So I don't think there will be any IP issues.
Ragini, would you like to take the next question?
Hey Ayush. So for
Yeah,
the background harm newsletter, like what have you
yeah.
decided on the frequency of the releasing of the issues of the newsletter, and do you have any structured plan on how you're going to pull through it?
Yeah. So, because like as I had discussed with you too, so because the team is new, for initially, I just plan to have at least one newsletter per semester. And because I guess one of the reasons is the team will be totally new, and the team will not have an idea to like where to start from, and like there will be no basic key framework to work with. As I mentioned, like I have talked to inside team to like basically have a kind of orientation for the newly recruited team to how to go about the whole process and how to start, and basically how to respect deadlines, and basically how to write articles, or what should be the basically a kind of orientation for the whole team to like starting with the background hum newsletter. So for the starters, answering the question frequency, I plan to have minimum one per semester, and like we can think of increasing it in the following semester. So for autumn, I just plan to release like at least one issue till December, and in the coming semester we can think of increasing it to two, and possibly having like Feb release and April release.
All right.
So, how do you exactly plan to make changes in the team? Like, what changes would you make in the team to push, like, make them push out more newsletter? Because in the end, it's just about coordination between the members, right?
Yeah. So okay. So one of the thing is to like okay. So after having a particular co-editor along with so there will be a chief editor for the a chief editor for the newsletter, but like as a general secretary I can also introduce a POR in the council. So I also plan to have a designated POR for like basically the editor team head kind of a thing. So exactly nomenclature can be worked on, but I also wish to have such a position who can look into logistics of who can basically look after if the work is going on or not, and help chief editor in like coordinating all the working stuff. Apart from that, I also plan to like incentivize the editors who are working, basically because now it is kind of a volunteer kind of a thing. So most of the students are not uh, motivated enough to complete the work that is allotted to them. So uh, basically we can formalize the position of editor, and so this will give students some incentive as a resume point or like as a experience thing. So like this will basically have and this will basically give them more motivation to work. And next thing is like we will have a formal we can have a formal selection procedure, and not just anyone who wants to enter the team can enter. And this will surely reduce the number of students that are entering the team. But I guess if we have five more motivated people than a group of eight moderately motivated students, it's better to have five highly motivated students, because this will surely like improve the work rate of the whole team.
You
So
mentioned about creating a specific post in the ESA Council, especially for the newsletter, logistics of the newsletter.
yeah.
So, what is the position for the chief editor?
Yeah, so I guess the position that I plan to create will be something that I feel Achievator and I can decide together, and what exactly the team needs or what exactly Achievator thinks is the requirement. Because the position I'm also creating will also be in coordination with the ESA GSEC who comes, the new ESA GSECs who comes. So basically, we three need to decide on a particular position. So basically, just say it's time. I guess the design people who were assigned design roles for this time's background hum news team, uh, like did not perform up to the mark, and again the design secretary of ESA had to do had to contribute to background hum team. So I guess we can decide along with chief editor and ESA GSEC to what exactly the position will have the name or what exactly will be the roles. But I guess we can utilize the like, because we can have some extra position, we can surely utilize it towards improving the background hum team. So basically that was the motivation.
Okay, so like for now, you don't have a structure in your mind exactly how you will try to do it, but the saying when the new
Yeah.
ESA GSEC comes, you'll try to think on something.
Yeah, I guess because it's also because because the position, like I am not the only stakeholder in creating a new position, because uh, ESA GSEC will surely have a say. And because chief editor is the one who will be running the whole newsletter thing, so I guess he can. And if we are planning to planning to have this position for improving background hum, so I guess because it is chief editor's team, so we can also take his or her opinion into account to basically have a better, well defined position, and not to just have a position for the namesake, or basically to have a redundant position. So because of that, I think it's better to have consensus of three of us, and then uh, a, have a then decide upon the position.
My next question is on the department industrial program that you had. Can you scroll down?
Yeah.
Industrial project. So, how feasible do you think this is for the department, and who have you contacted with respect to this project? Have you spoken to someone to ask about its feasibility?
Yeah. So, first of all, thing I will just answer the who had contacted. So, because similar thing was started in chemical engineering department, so I had talked to Rishabh, who is department general secretary of chemical department regarding this thing. This thing had a different name in chemical engineering department, but I guess I just wanted to keep it as department industrial project. And so basically he also told me what exactly they did. So basically they have, like, because chemical engineering department has signed MOUs with many industries for course on wheels program, which runs in which runs in winters. So because of this, they had collaborations with the industries, and they asked the same industries to collaborate for such a department industry project thing. And they had some around 11 projects, and these projects were club, and students were allowed to take a particular course, and they were basically credited for the same thing. And basically the projects had one guide from the industry and one professor guide from the institute itself. And like having looked at the similar thing being happening in our department for MTech students. So because for MTech students also, like TI provided with the projects and project guide from Texas Instruments, and like there will be a professor in charge in IIT Bombay too. So because like this is happening in because of the MOU signed, and because this is happening in uh, MTech students in the same department. Like I'm quite confident that we can introduce this for UG and like UG students, and like all the other students in the UG, and like all the other students in department too, with some prerequisites obviously. So because if some project demands some prerequisite, we can obviously have that, but we can basically start this as a course and like basically offer students a in semester opportunity.
So you're saying that you will be running a course in the department, right? So basically, after the evaluation for the project is done, you're wanting it to credit in IIT Bombay transcript, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
So
it will be similar to, yeah, R&D project kind of thing.
So that is a bit different from the MOUs that are signed. MOUs were for the internships, right? And that is
Yeah.
very different because once you're incorporating credits into this proposal, uh,
Mhm.
then you would also need to think about the exchange of information that is happening. Like after that work is done, who is responsible for that research activity that has been done? Because this point has already been discussed with the DUGC and DUGC was not in favor. Because then you'll have to go into different aspects of intellectual property, right? Who would be the owner of the right? Will it be the company? Will it be the professor? Right?
Yeah. So like professor in charge will be just like basically professor in charge will be the in charge of grading and the like basically
Hmm.
administrative part of it.
Right. But the professor will also need to know about the details of the project, right?
Yeah.
But the project would be an industrial project. Will the industry be willing to share that with the company? Because even now, when you go for internship, you have to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Mhm.
So this
Yeah.
has already been discussed with the DUGC, and the DUGC had voted not in favor. Instead, they said they look more into this is just for your information. The
Mhm.
DUGC had already thought that they will look into other avenues to
Mhm.
increase uh, connections with the
Mhm.
industry.
Yeah. So like we can like also one more thing that supports this idea is like many of the DD projects that are like many of the dual degree students have their dual degree projects with the professors who are already working with industries,
Mhm.
and basically students are indirectly working for the industry. So if we have some similar kind of a collaboration of a particular professor who is willing to help like who is willing to be in charge of this course, and also has some industry collaboration, so we can have a similar model followed for this course too. But again, I guess
But
that can be
the
explored.
dynamics are different, right? There, the prof is working for the industry, and they have their mutual agreements. The project,
Hmm.
is a joint project. This will be a project in the industry supervised by a professor in the department.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so maybe you can think about something with the help of the ESRT or the Dean IP. Dean.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
yeah, Akshay, would you like to take the next question?
Yeah, sure. So in the research blog section, uh, you mention about that. Can you open that research blog?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
visible?
So you want to include it as a part of ESA blogs to promote the research, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, who exactly would be the authors for these blogs?
Okay. So basic framework that we will be following for these blocks is the questionnaire will be made by the ESA Council itself. Questionnaire will be made, and basically there will be themes for the research blocks. Like one of the blocks can be a day in a life of researcher. So this can be one, or another theme can be if there is some research breakthrough about there is some research breakthrough. So like there can be like blog related to that. So basically, framework that we'll be following, a questionnaire will be made by the department council itself, and the like we can give the author, like we can give two options to the person we are writing blog regarding. Like suppose we are writing data researchers with suppose person X. So person X will be given an option to, if he wants to write the whole blog himself, or basically we can interview him and we can construct blogs ourselves. And basically we can just like fact check with him and then we can release the blog. So I guess that can be worked out if the person is himself willing to write the whole blog, and basically then it's, I guess it's more than fine for the council because they are getting a ready-made blog. But if he just wishes to give a small like interview like on a call or something, so thing that we can do is uh, we can just take his responses for a list of questions and we can construct a blog out of it. So these two models can be followed.
Okay, so on this, I would like to ask one extra question that
Hmm.
how exactly are you going to encourage the doctoral part of the research community that they should need to write the blogs for this ESA, right? Since they are already busy with their in the most of their parts in writing the papers and doing the research work,
Hmm.
and at last writing the thesis. So do you think how do you think you are going to promote this thing in that part?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, so in case like as I mentioned, in case of time constraints, and if like if the person is not willing to write a blog, I guess we can ask for interviews in a particular for a particular questionnaire. So I guess this is also followed in, like in my experience as a Institute Secretary of Academic Affairs too. We had some blogs, so we followed the same procedure for people who have some time constraints. So basically, we can, like if you have a basic template of like basic content of blog in mind, like what exactly we wish to have. So basically, we can just have a person to like have an interview for half an hour or something like that. We can record the responses, we can write out a blog, and the person who we interviewed can just proofread it. So I guess this model will not consume much time for, especially for the PGs where they are like consistent with a lot of activities, PhD and MTech students both. So like such a model can be followed for especially PGs or any UG if there is a time constraint. So I don't think that will be an issue.
Okay.
Ragini, would you like to go next?
Right. For this
Hmm.
department open day that you've mentioned, like
Yeah.
showcasing the research
Hmm.
facilities,
Hmm.
like have you planned anything? How you're going to carry that out in an online mode?
Uh, for the online mode, to be honest, it's really difficult because for time being, I like if both the next semesters happen in online manner, I don't plan to have it in an online manner. Firstly, because the thing with the online events is because most like the students who are who will be interested in these things will be mainly freshmen and sophomore students who haven't started with their research really. And given the course workload in electrical engineering department, like their screen times are already like sky high. So having a whole day event in online mode in front of screen, I don't like, I think defeats the purpose of the whole event, where you can have like more friendly environment in a strictly research environment, and like basically you can induce like non like there will be a non-induced like organic interaction related to research. So in online mode, like this totally defeats the purpose of this whole event. So I don't think if the both the semesters continue to be online, I don't think I will have it.
But don't you think it's more necessary to have this in an online mode because students are not aware of all the things that are going on in the department? Like,
So like instead of this, we can think of a other event or like other orientation kind of a thing where they are uh, told about research. Like there is a research we can think that we are doing, like which is currently planned for sophomores. But if we are totally planning like scrapping a department open day, then I think similar thing can be done for third year students where more depth can be explored. But again, matlab, the point of department open days that I had was to just to have the research discussions in a more informal way, because I think most of the for at least undergraduate students, most of the research discussions and all such things happen in very very formal manner. So research is not something that naturally comes to most of UG students. So I just wanted to break that stigma by having department open day to like basically have like research and like research discussions and research environment in much more informal way. So yeah, I feel if the both the semester, if the both of the next semester continue to be online, we can have such research weekend kind of a thing for third year students, and basically open to all department. But having department open day, I don't feel personally that it will help. But again, I guess I'm open to like discussion on this, and like yeah, so like if at all like if at all we think that it will help, so I guess we might have it. But for the current time, I don't plan to have it in online mode.
So, Ragini, if you will, I have a question on this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So, in an online format, you said you won't be conducting any open day. But in an offline format, suppose you made this manifesto keeping an offline format in your mind. Doesn't the open day and the research blog cover the same thing?
Open day and research blog.
Yep.
No, I don't think so. They cover same thing. I guess the basic motivation of both the things is very different. Basically, department open days are more about basically about like more about exploring, I guess, where students can explore the research facilities, the lab facilities that are available, and basically they can like they can communicate with the TAs and RAs over there to know about what exactly they are doing and all. Whereas research blog is very particular and very targeted thing. Like basically, like as I said, like if there is a research breakthrough, we'll have a blog on that, or like basically like if we can have some general blogs, but most of the times it will be kind of a targeted thing, like uh, so like जैसे अगर किसी ने research internship किया है तो like it can incorporate that thing too. Or if someone has done a semester exchange and there he had some research, and basically research environment was very different than IIT Bombay, so basically this experience can be included in department research blogs. But department open day, I guess it's totally different, because basically this will be more kind of a thing where like freshmen can explore the department in a better way. So yeah, uh,
So
हाँ, तो
we'll move on. I have a question on department research exposition that you mentioned. What do you plan it to be exactly? Is it going to be a poster exhibition?
uh, like basically like there will be, I don't plan it to have it in a particular format. I guess it will be open. So you can have poster presentations in case it's an abstract topic and it does not have any working models, or if it has, or if your research has some working models, then you can have some working models in the exposition too. So basically, I don't wish to have any particular format of the exposition. And also because it is not exactly kind of exactly not kind of a competition thing where, so because it's not exact competition, I guess diversifying the formats would work and would not have huge issues.
Uh, but in case, okay, so whatever it be, like in the end, students are going to make some submissions for the
Yeah.
exposition, right? So how do you plan to select a few of them if you are looking at selecting?
Okay. So firstly, the initial plan I had was like basically like to have a professor in charge, or ask some professor to help us out in this thing. Like basically like just say Professor CB Pillai can also help in this, but I guess I get your point that he won't be able to help us in every case, like basically every aspect. So what like we have, like in my tenure as a Institute Secretary of Academic Affairs, we had a similar, like basically we had an event in collaboration with NTU where we had such different domains across, like it was not specific to a particular department but all departments. So what we did was we approached a professor for this event ki, like they just need to judge the abstract. We pitched them this idea and we got responses from a lot of professors. Like we had around 30 to 37 to 40 professors on board. So I guess that model can be easily followed. Like basically we can pitch professors about this idea, and for each domain, like for kind of each specialization, like we might have like around 5 submissions. And we like if we have like because of place constraints, if we wish to cap each specialization by 4 presentations, So basically, we can ask such professors to volunteer and help us out in this thing. But like from my experience in organizing a similar event, I don't feel that professors have any problem in doing this. In fact, we also had a professor to uh, judge this judge the event. So this is also something that can be explored. But for now, if we have such place constraints where we do not wish to incorporate every applicant, so we can ask some professors to help out and judge basically the abstract that can be there in the exposition.
So the next set of questions are from the various student bodies in the department who are there for the academics of these students.
Sure.
It involves DAM, ISCP, RSCP, and also the ORAs.
Hmm.
So I would like to take the first question. It is often observed that the department timetable is updated and made available to the students at the very last moment. That is
Hmm.
a few days before main registration. How do
Hmm.
you exactly plan to implement early mock registration, and what about institute-wide courses that students take?
Okay. So see.
Before you
Uh,
begin, I would like to add some information. So, the department comes up with a list of courses that are going to be available this semester on the basis of the availability of the professors, which slot they would like to
hmm.
take in, depending on the availability of TAs and the time zones and whatnot. And after that,
Hmm.
they have to submit it to AC within a fixed deadline, and only then the AC reflects it on the portal. So
Yeah.
that is a general FYI for all the students. Yeah, Ayush.
Yeah. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, I wish to have this mock registration kind of thing for at least 1 week before the 1 week before the pre-registration for minor courses start. So one of the one of the things that I need to do for implementing this thing is push for having the list of courses running this semester out earlier. And I guess like it's not a last minute thing that professors decide to take a course. It's there from the long time. It's just, I guess, sometimes not communicate to the student in advance. So I guess that should not be an issue. Like we can ask professor, like ask we can ask E department office and timetable coordinator to help us in getting this course list in a bit advance, so that students can get the course list before having the mock registrations itself. The next part of the question was okay. So the next part was, I guess, how do I wish to incorporate? So yeah, that this was about getting the course list earlier. The next part was about how do I plan to incorporate all the departments. So I guess this is going to be an issue, I guess. The one of the reasons that why I directly can't I from this model I directly can't tackle the issues of whole institute is because there are different timetable coordinators for each and every department, and like coordinating between 15 to 16 different department coordinators for a particular thing will just be a mess given the number of students that are basically we will have 10,000 or all responses. So for the time being, I just wish to have it for department core courses and electives clash resolution. Uh, for so yeah, for now I just plan to wish it to have for these two courses. But I guess the possibility of extended it can be can be discussed in DGSC if possible. But for the current time being, I'm not I do not plan to incorporate all the other institute courses.
So a follow-up question on this is like many of the time motivations for a student to have a particular course in one particular slot also depends on the courses that he or she is willing to take up from other departments as well. So if
Hmm.
you're saying that E department will have its mock registration way earlier than the pre-registration, then
Hmm.
might be a case that the courses from other departments are not available. So what do you plan to do in such a case?
Okay, so you are saying that if okay, in that case, okay, so I will just I was not able to hear you, but the question is right. Question is that if the
I can
course
repeat it
list,
if you want.
okay, yeah, you can just repeat that would be great.
Yeah, so many a times a motivation for a student to have a course in one particular slot also
Hmm.
is dependent on another favorable course from other department in a one particular slot. Right. In the end, the student would like to take optimize and take both the courses. Right.
Hmm.
So what happens in such a situation that since the E department has a study quite early, but the other departments do not,
Hmm.
what do you plan to do in such a case? Because
Okay.
our specialization students take courses from all the departments, CES, IUR, uh,
Hmm.
EN.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I guess there are some PH courses too. Yeah, true. So yeah, so I guess see, honestly speaking, uh, it's difficult to coordinate between different departments, especially because all the working board, like there is no common working body apart from academic unit. So it is difficult to coordinate, but I guess this issue can be raised in DGSC, and all the DGSecs can plan to push for a common deadline, or like basically a common date for mock registrations, like as we have uh, institute-wide registrations on a single day. So basically, we can like I can try to push this thing in DGSC and to all the DGSecs that we can have mock registrations on a particular day and try to release the final list on a particular day, so that this all mess will be cleared, and student will have a better overall experience in like basically getting taking a course and basically deciding the course. So that can be done. But having said that, this is also like I guess this is very because of huge number of stakeholders involved. I am not really confident, or like I'm not really sure that how this thing will work out. But I can assure you that this problem won't be there for at least for E department core and specialization electives and E department courses basically. But yeah, obviously I can push for the other DGSX to like follow same timeline, but again it is subject to their discretion and their will to work on this.
Thanks. Ragini, would you like to take the next question?
So, Ayush, how are you exactly going to ensure that the students are interested in applying for the various department PORs?
Okay, so I guess one of the thing that happens in I guess recently, I guess in fact yesterday happened is like basically sensitizing students, especially first year students, about uh, for taking PORs, and like basically pitching them all the benefits that the POR entails, and basically how it helps in an overall development. Apart from that, I also think we can have a mini orientation, or like basically a briefing session for any pur. I guess this is followed in many of the tech teams. They do this, that they basically have pitching, like basic briefing session of the thing, of the work they do before exactly uploading the forms or taking the test. And I guess this has also started by UGSC to uh, have a brief session before they basically start the process or start recruiting for PR. So this is something that we can think of having basically a brief session for all the PR holders, like basically all the freshmen that are going to become sophomores. So basically, they will comprise of the most of the department council of the basically ESA council. So the current ESA council, along with current ESA council, before starting the procedure, we can have a briefing session to give them an idea about what exactly do we do, and basically motivate them to take up this PORs, and then we can start the process. And from my experience, I have seen that this process do really help, because firstly this helps students to themselves understand what a position entails, so there is no expectation mismatch. Secondly, this will directly eliminate the students who are not motivated enough, because the students, like if they get to know what exactly they are doing and they are not motivated enough, they will not be the part of the process. So basically, the set of people that will get is really good. And because because they will hear the things from their exact seniors and immediate seniors who have been in their position, they will be really motivated. If the experiences are really good, they will be really motivated to take up the PR. So I guess such a briefing session can help a lot.
Don't you think this is already happening in the department orientation for the first year students,
um,
explaining these students what the council is about, what are the job?
yeah, I guess, but the difference in that is in the orientation, it is more about what council is supposed to do, and what are the exact expectations. And if we have it in the end and while recruiting, firstly it will be a like much fresh memory. And so that like there is a recency bias obviously, so that will help a lot. Secondly, there will be experiences and personalized things. So the difference between it will be similar to like facts and a story kind of a difference. Like in the first orientation it's more of a fact kind of a thing, where like departments are supposed to do this, they are responsible to do this. And if we have it, we have the briefing session just before recruiting, then it will be more kind of a personalized thing, and like they will be motivated by the experiences and not the work they do, honestly speaking. So the experiences that the students will share about the council work they have done, that will really motivate, I feel. So I guess having it after is really necessary, because the first gen would not contain the experiences, and that is the main thing that will motivate.
Is there anything else that you think would encourage students to take up POs in their department?
um, can you just repeat? Sorry, I was not able to hear you clearly.
Is there anything that you can think of that can improve this position?
Improve the
Improve the situation.
Okay, improve the situation. I guess one of the things like okay, like this is there, and other thing that I think is like as I mentioned in my manifesto too, regarding the GBM and interim and midterm work report. So basically, this will help us to establish department council as a more legitimate body, and like people won't take the PRs for granted basically if we have these things. So this would also really help, because most of the times what people think is like, "Okay, like department council, like they don't have much thing to do and they at times take it for granted." And this is also one of the reasons that people don't opt for department positions, I guess, because they think कि कुछ काम ही नहीं है, like there is nothing much to learn up from the position, because they think because yeah, I guess legitimacy of the council is questioned in such situations. So if we have this general body meetings and basically work term, half term and end term work reports, which are published regular like which are published every time. So I guess this will help us improve the basically help us improve uh, the accountability of the department council, and will help us in improving the basically the image of the department council, because of which I guess automatically the participation from students will also increase.
Uh, so, for your information, end-term work report is a compulsory part of department POs. Like at the end of each tenure, like a proper work report is published and submitted to the department.
Yeah.
So yeah, Akshay, would you like to take the next question?
Yeah. So in the key initiative section, there is no initiative that is mentioned for master's students. So why is that so?
I guess like it is not I guess I won't say it's so, because I guess a grad school mentorship program can surely like if an MTech student wants to go for PhD, it surely incorporates it. I guess it is also mentioned here. Apart from this, background hum team is also something that is open for all departments, so it's not only UG specific. Secondly, project archive is can surely help freshmen can also help freshman MTech students. Although there is a booklet that is provided by ISCP, but yeah, again, this database will might help MTech students too, because like they will get an idea of the students who have worked in already in that area, and they can basically have basically they can connect with them and they can get some more insights into that. Apart from that, so I guess yeah, so these three initiatives surely do consider MTech students. And apart from this, grad school application guide will also have MTech will incorporate in MTech students, because again they will because again it will have basically PhD application and all the things related to that. So any MTech students, if he wants to opt for PhD, so he can go through this booklet and be benefited from it. And exit service too, I guess, yeah, it's meant for whole department, not only for UGs, PGs, or any particular section. The only thing that is, I guess, very UG specific is sophomore mini orientation, and we can in fact have early mock registration for MTech students too. But again, I guess the main reason, like because there are not much electives, so we can obviously have this for MTech students. But again, the because of the curriculum structure, it does not like help. It won't help them a lot, but surely we can have it for MTechs too. So I guess, yeah. So basically, this is the only point, I guess, that remains very, very UG specific. And arguably, Project Archive can also be argued that it might help the UG students a lot than PG students. Uh, because I guess, yeah, again, there is a difference in maturity and all, and PG students can directly feel they are very comfortable in interacting with professors. So I guess, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the next question is for the ARPTA proposal. So the ARPTA proposal had been taken to the HOD in the last tenure as well. The TAM
Hmm.
team and the DGSec have been trying to push that in the department from a very long time. What
Hmm.
are you planning to do differently? Elaborate a bit on a course of action related to it.
Okay, sure. So, so the first main difference that will be there in our approach is that the people we are approaching have changed. So basically, because the administration and the HOD have changed, so like dynamics will be totally different. But speaking for what we will do differently, kind of a thing. So firstly, I guess we will work along with the DAM team, work upon the actual proposal or the policy proposal that was initially drafted. Uh, First, what I plan to do is basically back this by some data, back the proposal by data by like exactly what are the requirements of ARP students and what exactly are their views on this particular thing. Uh, so first, I guess revamping the proposal will surely help. After that, we will also check. We'll also in this proposal itself, I also plan to incorporate the exact number of requirement of ARPTAs and what can be the possible basically streams for funding them. So I guess if we incorporate this, this will surely help in improving the proposal. So I guess, yeah. So first two task will be to basically have a survey and have a basically get any like insight into this proposal from ARP student side. So I guess that can be done by that can be done uh, mostly by a DM team because they have all the ARP students data. Nextly, we can analyze backlog courses data, like exactly which courses do students have backlogs in and how they can be clubbed and can be associated to a particular TA. So this will help us to get an insight into the exact number of ARPTAs required for the department, and backing this by data and survey data. I think that will improve the proposal a lot, and I guess then we can approach HOD, and I guess then the further improvements can be recommended by him.
So, Ayush, what exactly was the proposal? Because as far as I know, the proposal already had the backlog data associated.
Mhm.
And do you know why exactly did the HOD reject and what you plan to do differently? Or at least what you would recommend the TAM team to do differently?
So okay, so like first part of question, like what exactly was the proposal? So basically, as I mentioned, like proposal was to have special TAs for students who are part of ARP, and because and also we can so yeah, so that was the basic proposal to have specialized TAs for ARP students. So the thing about like I'm not very sure because I did not have access to the exact proposal, so I can't really say what exact was the proposal. And by the groundworks of DAM team, uh, uh, from the groundworks, I have noticed that there was not much discussion on this proposal, and it was kind of on a directly put on a hold. So I guess again, the much of the improvements. that can be done are again like we can give them everything that a proposal should entail, like uh, so just say like yeah, I guess I'm not very sure if it had the exact numbers of the required ARPTAs. So I guess this is like, this might seem like a very small thing, but I guess this supports the proposal by a huge, like this supports proposal hugely, that if you have exact number of TAs that are required and how we are going to utilize the TAs. So this will help. And apart from this, as I mentioned earlier, like we can also think of like if you are able to get undergraduate TAs proposal passed, or like have undergraduate TAs, so this will also help us in this proposal too, because I guess students will be more willing to interact with their peers than someone and like on the other way too, because undergraduate students have just done that course. So because of that, we will be able to the interaction between TAs and ARP students will be better, because I guess that has been one of the issues in ARP program. And the next thing, yeah, I guess like the first thing that comes to the back of my mind is like basically backing this whole thing by a good robust data. Like I'm not sure to what extent it has been done, but yeah, I plan to do this in the first place.
So you don't know exactly what the proposal said.
No, I haven't exactly got my hands on the proposal.
Okay. So the proposal had mentioned all these things, but I don't exactly know whether they had mentioned the specific number of TAs that they would be requiring. But from what I know, they had kept like one ERP TA per course. Okay, so
Mhm.
that gave a sufficient idea about the number of ARPTs, but that wasn't the problem with the proposal.
Hmm.
It was directly rejected because for the want of logistics.
Hmm. So yeah, I guess like because it was, yeah, so that is also the improvement that I have mentioned, right? Because it initially, as you mentioned, it was meant just one TA per course, right? So if we have a bucket of courses which can be combined for a TA, so I guess that would like radically minimize the number of TAs. And if the number of TAs are minimized, I guess logistics would be solved. But again, I guess as you mentioned, I guess if I would have a look at I would be able to tell this betterly if I actually have the proposal in mind. So yeah.
No, then this brings another set of problems, right? Can you think of a solution? For example, this is a very like you're saying that okay, ARPTAs are going to be very much invested into the student, and
Hmm.
you're also saying that the ARPTA would be responsible for more than one course. So, what incentive would the student have to be apply for being an ARPTA?
Yeah. So see, basically one thing that can be done is to like yeah. So uh, as I mentioned, if undergraduate TA's proposal pass, this would help a lot. Firstly, because most of the TAs, like most of the students, don't take it for monetary benefit. They just want the experience of TA. And secondly, for ARPTS, we do not need someone who has the like who is just expert in, like basically we don't need someone who we need someone who basically has his basics clear for a particular course. So what, like this is something that is also done for summer courses, right? Because summer courses, the for example, if for a for CPI, like grade criteria for any 105 in normal course, in normal scenario would be suppose A grade to apply for TAship, whereas in summer courses it would be very low, like it will be uh, around like it was BB as far as I know last year. So for to apply for summer TAs, so if we like for ARPTS, if we reduce the CPI criteria, and if we just select the students who are just good enough to teach ARPTS, so this would really incentivize students who could not really be TA in the normal course, but they also want to explore the TAship. So I guess such students will be really interested in becoming an ARPTA. So I guess
If
that
you
would
are
help.
reducing the CPI limit or the grade limit, how
Hmm.
are you going to ensure that the TA is someone who is able to deliver?
yeah, the rest process remains the same, but yeah, like, again, it will have the interviews, and like if only professor feels like the if the like if student is really capable of becoming TA, then only he will be a TA. Like it won't be just because of the grade or CPI basis, but yeah, relaxing one of such criteria will surely like uh, basically welcome more students to apply for this and motivate more students to apply for this.
So, yeah, the basically the current proposal is quite complicated both for the administration side of the department as well as the students, and it's
Mhm.
quite taxing. And maybe that is something that you could look into. Okay,
Sure, sure,
so
sure.
yeah, Akshay, would you like to take the next question?
Yeah. So, um, how can you improve more upon building a healthy bond between the UGs and PGs, apart from these common sports events?
Yeah. So I guess this has been one of the problems in, especially in online semester, because most of the UG pre-UG interaction happens in labs, and I guess labs being in online sim, this has curbed all the interaction and all the UG PG interaction that remains in the very formal setting is just for vivas and just for asking questions. So like there is not at all healthy interaction. So when I talk to like some like in fact to Akshay too. So one of the things that I noticed is like PGs are bound by a lot of activities. So they are like for the cultural activities, PGs like most of the PGs won't show up. Like this has been a general trend, might change in the future, but the general trend has been that for cultural events, PGs are not much interested. They are interested in sports events. So like a sports event will surely help. So, but as Akshay mentioned, apart from this, as I mentioned, there was one of the thing like called research weekend. So like this thing is I wish to like totally conduct this with the help of PGs for UGs. So basically, see, so like having such a thing in a formal session, like firstly, it would increase the mutual respect between UGs and PGs. Because like PGs are conducting session for the UGs, so like this will increase mutual respect and will lead to healthy interaction. Apart from this, I also mentioned about student reading groups orientation. So because SRGs predominantly have PG interaction. So like including UGs in them will surely help in increasing UG PG interaction. So this was there in a very formal setting, but like because I guess PGs are like PGs have very good research culture, so we can bank on that to basically increase UG PG interaction, because PGs have a lot of good lot of good research activities going on. So like basically we can interact through such research activities. Apart from that, as I mentioned, like every research activity that जैसे department open day भी हो गया, this will also help if department open day happens. Like basically students are going to interact with like TAs and RAs in the lab, so this will also help in that thing. And apart from this, I guess for having like like for improving organic interaction between UGs and PGs, I guess instead of having such formal events, like informal events uh, like again like informal events like a sports day will surely help. But because like one thing that I also thought of is like improving PJ involvement in like basically kurta days and cultural nights. But again, during groundwork, I came to know that not many PGs are interested in cultural events, but like they are hugely interested in sports events. So we can have interdepartment sports events, and basically like what I and one of the like when I discussed this initiative with one of the ESA JSEC candidates, we also thought of having basically making teams ourselves, like basically doing random shuffling of UGs and PGs, and then having such events. So that will help in the interaction.
So, so like one of the expected answer points would be like having steady contact with the PG reps in the department, the DDR and the DMRs, and the ORFs. So yeah, that's it. So this is the last questions from the student body. Are you aware of the difficulties faced by research scholars? Example, guide dispute, irregular stipend, project funding, lab accommodation, etc. Are you planning to work with the department, Dr. Laura, and the DDR to resolve at least some of these? If yes, please tell us.
So yeah, I'm aware of this problem. So I had my groundworks with auras regarding the same. Regarding improving this, like how to improve the condition. So when I talked to the auras, so one of the things was also that like because auras are member of PGSE, so these issues are directly raised in PGSE, and so basically so that is one of the thing. And how can I help in resolving this? So one of the things that like that is currently practiced is auras. Sometimes like auras most of the times directly reach out to department office and that resolves their issues. But yeah, so but obviously like DGSecs are in loop of this. And how I can exactly exactly help in solving these problems is like one of the things is also like the institute is planning for institute grievance cell, so I can push for that. And so it is yeah, it is already in the process and the proposal and all are already ready. So this will surely help in solving the issues like guide disputes and like if there are any issues with the guides. The next thing is regarding stipend. So I guess that can also be resolved by having a proper communication with the department office. Currently, it is mainly auras are the ones who are like mostly auras reach out, like mostly students reach out to auras and auras themselves reach out to uh, themselves to a department office. But me being in a loop of all this process will surely help because I guess yeah, so because like basically students can reach out to more people and like basically issues will be highlighted by most people, so the intensity of the issue will surely rise in the electrical department office. And like people in the department office will be uh, compelled to like resolve this issue. So that is one of the thing. And yeah, apart from this, can you Vedant, can you just repeat the question? Yes, it had many parts. So
Yeah. So the later answers, are you planning to work with the department, Dr. Laura, and the DDI to resolve? If yes, please tell how.
yeah, so so I guess one of the so I have do plan to wish I do wish to work with department auras. And one of the things that that was also highlighted are like these issues are very waste. Like PGs do not like there are just say like UGs face issues which are prominent amongst the batch. So such issues are not encountered by mostly not encountered by PG students which are prominent amongst the batch. They are very person specific. So I guess most of the issues will be on the need to need basis. So I guess it's better to have an flexible work frame than having a particular basically having a particular roadmap to resolve these issues. So for that, I guess collaborating with basically auras and basically a doctor representative and masters representatives will surely help. Apart from that, I guess it's better to tackle each issue at a time. And for the for the guide dispute and all such grievance things, I guess pushing for grievance still and like providing doctors students a platform to uh, basically uh, basically have redressal for such grievances would help.
So for the information of those present here, from this year onwards, the DGSec, the DDR, and the DMR would be a part of the DPGC, and the DPGC is the place where such grievances can be
Hmm.
taken up by the student representatives. So
Hmm. Yeah.
that is something you could have added to the answer. So this concludes the part where the election officers ask the questions. Now the floor is open for questions from the audience. You can raise your hands in case you have any question, and you can be last call you out to unmute yourself. So it's 5:50 right now. We'll wait till 5:55 in case we have any questions.
Sure.
So if we are not having any questions, maybe we can end the meet. If there are no questions by 5:52, we'll conclude this meeting.
Sure, sure.
So I guess you don't have any questions. We would conclude this meeting. The meeting was recorded and the recording would be shared with all the students so that they can make an informed decision during the elections. Thank you, Ayush, for going over your manifesto.
Yeah.
Thanks to all
Thanks a lot.
the officers present here. I'll be ending the meet.